Hey gang, Joshua Bacarella here with Sportsmen's Direct. We're going to change it up a little bit and do a quick video on live bait rigging techniques. You guys come into the shop all the time, and I take for granted that you know all these different little tricks or different ways to hook different baits onto the hook. And so I just thought I'd take a few minutes here and explain a few of those things that I take for granted when I'm out there. All right, next thing I'm going to talk about here is waxworms. Now, waxworms are a much bigger critter. I'm going to dig in here in the sawdust. I'm going to get a candidate or two. You're going to see all different size ranges on waxies. Some great big, beautiful, fat jumbo ones, which that one's kind of just a small and medium dude, and they vary. I'll get a couple of them out here. I just grabbed this off the floor. Somebody might have already picked through it for the big ones when we were packing them out. I was hoping to get a great big one to show you one of these techniques. So again, waxies are a moth larva, a lot bigger than a spike. I like to use them especially for crappies and for bluegills. The spikes are really like for perch. I'm going to use the same hook here, just a 4mm epoxy tungsten. And I'm going to show you one of the techniques. And that's, I'm going to start out with what we call T-boning. And T-boning is basically hooking that spike right in the middle. And it's a lot like what you guys would do when you're wacky rigging, right? So when you're wacky rigging a worm for bass, you're going to hook them in the middle. And then when you shake him down there in the water, he kind of kicks, both ends of the tails kick. So that's wacky rigging. Don't do it real often that way, but sometimes, the fish will tell you that's the way they want it. So that's the way you give it to them if that's the way they want it. Especially when you're sight fishing, you can see their reaction to all that. I'm going to use the same guy here, and I'm going to rig him kind of like I normally would, and that's going to be to thread them on, which is pretty basic, right? Threading a waxy on. When they're small like this guy, if I had a slightly bigger jig, I can thread more on there. But, there's, I'm going to go a different route, so that's your basic threading. You can even flatten them out a little bit. Again, you animal rights activists are going to freak out on me, I know. This works really good when you got dead waxies, if they're, this guy's not flattening real good. But if you flatten them out, and then just kind of hook them lightly up by the head, that guy will really kick and flip when he's in the water. And he's still alive too, so you still got some movement out of him that way, but you can really mush them right down and flatten them right out so that they look just like a little piece of skin kind of kicking there. So that's another way to rig waxies. And I'm going to try something here, and I'm not sure if it's going to work with this guy because he's not real big. What I just did is I just pinched his head off. You can do that with any of these baits, guys. You can pinch them off, break them open, get scent in the water. I'm going to use a hook here if I can. I'm going to try to turn this guy inside out. Yep, that's right. I said inside out. I'm just going to try to flip him. And this hook might be too sharp to do it. Because the idea, actually I'll use the actual hook. Sometimes you can do it with a toothpick, sometimes you can do it on the hook that you're actually fishing. It kind of just depends. It kind of depends on the size of the waxy. So I turned that waxy inside out, and what that does is it exposes, you know how they got all the little tiny legs, right, that they move and they can crawl along with? Well, every one of those tiny legs has got a little connective, like a ligament. It almost looks, it's like a cartilage kind of material. So once you turn them inside out, you've exposed all those little legs of cartilage. And when we drop him in the tank, you're going to see that it looks kind of crazy because it's going to be all fuzzy and milky with all the, you know, all the scent coming off of it, and you're going to have all those little legs exposed, which for really, really finicky fish can just be something they're not used to seeing. So it's going to trigger bites for you. But it's kind of a pain in the neck to do, as you can see me doing it here, even in warm conditions here inside the store, compared to doing it out there on the ice or in a shanty. It's a lot harder to do. But hey, you know, if you're trying to get that big fish to commit, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.